Right there, Latin 3. I keep getting distracted. But onward to 94, drawing of lots. With the short time in between, so brevi spatio intermisso, the Romans' idea of space and time, verbally ended up kind of being the same thing. So with a short amount of time intervening, the Greeks approached a certain island. So in that brief, since they got blown away, they're like, well, let's go to this other island, right? They approached a certain island on which Circe, the daughter of the sun with a U, not with an O, was living. Well, I guess he is also the son of Zeus, so the sun who is also the sun, the daughter of the sun who is the sun. God, I miss having you guys in class. I can hear your groans. I can see certain of your eyes rolling right now, and I can't wait to get back to that. Oh well. Let's see. When they had pulled the ship ashore, Ulysses decided that they should disembark in order to forage. Let's see. For he had known that the supply of grain which was on the ship was now lacking. In other words, they had enough to get home. Therefore, he showed to, ostended is at the very, very end of that sentence, it's fun. He showed to his allies, whom he had called to himself, in what place the situation was. In other words, points out, hey guys, we had enough grain, now we don't. I just get the idea that he's really snippy at this point. Like, he can't do anything about it, but he's really, like I sometimes get when somebody doesn't do the translation, but they copy from the internet. But anyway, he showed in what place the situation was and what he wished to have happen. However, when everyone held the memory or remembered how cruel, or rather, how cruelly, how those who had been killed were done so cruelly, or so how cruel. By how cruel a death those had been killed who had recently gone off the ship with him. Nobody stepped forward. Nobody volunteered himself. There was nobody to be found who wanted to take up this task. When things were thus, the whole situation led into an argument. At last, Ulysses, with the agreement of everyone, divided his people into two parts, or his allies into two parts, of which he ordered Eurylochus to be the leader, a man of great manliness, to be the leader of, the other himself. And let's see, and I think that Ritchie's did a bad job here because you normally order an accusative to be in charge of a dative with that particular construction. Then these guys chose lots amongst themselves as to which ones would go on to land. So everybody's fighting, saying, I don't want to go with Ulysses because that means death. History has shown. Or I guess mythology. So he divided them into half, and he says, Eurylochus, you're in charge of Group B, I'm in charge of Group A, and you and I will roll dice to see who gets to go on land. Once this was done, it came out by chance that Eurylochus, with 22 allies, would take up the task. So I used to have this debate with my Latin classes about who won the drawing of lots, because bravery, courage, etc., etc. But if you look really closely, you can kind of figure out who won, and it would have been Ulysses who won in the eyes of his men, because none of them wanted to go with him, right? So he and his men, his 22 guys, got to stay back, so they must have won. He probably himself felt like he lost because he wanted to go out, right? But here you see a leader actually, get this, a leader who's willing to be bound by the rules that they have set forth. Could you imagine a district where they did that? Okay, so that's chapter 94. I'm going to hit the button.